itself and your cherished listeners. I think His Excellency the President is right. At least he has a bank of experience under his hands when it comes to marriage for 33 years. But I think, on the other hand, also, not that you should avoid arguing with your wife in its entirety. There are some issues you don't have to. But there are issues, I think, personally, there should be some sort of mutual argument, so that at the end of the day, you can arrive at a convention that will make the marriage work for both of you.
Under what circumstances can you have an argument with, let's say, your wife? And under what circumstances would you say that you agree with the president, don't argue with your wife? Give me some instances.
Okay. When it comes to the Akan language, there are something we call it Mmaasem. When it comes to the Mmaasem, you don't have to argue with them. For example, if you see another woman and you admire the woman and your wife starts complaining, there is no point arguing with her because you will never win. And the reason is that your wife should be the most beautiful woman in your life, even though it doesn't prevent you from admiring another woman. But it is telling you that you don't have to do that in the presence of your wife. When you engage in some of these arguments, you will never win. Secondly, when she decides to do something for the kids, they have some of the children that they are dear to their heart. You don't have to argue with them, even when there's an issue concerning that particular child. Instead of arguing with your wife, talk to the child instead. That will be fine. Then, when it comes to some decision making some properties for the family, you don't have to argue with your wife because you will never win. And the reason is that they have a mentality that whatever the man is building up, whatever property the man is putting up in terms of physical landed properties, whatever it is, it belongs to them. So they don't see why you should be the final decision maker on some of these issues. So in that line of argument, don't even bother yourself arguing with them. Then those that you have to argue is decisions about the child's upbringing, decisions that you are making on behalf of the child as to his educational path, professional path, and other few things. For that one, I strongly believe that you have to argue with your wife and make sure that whatever superior argument that you are putting across comes to the benefit of the child. In that aspect, the women are not well equipped in arriving in taking that decision because they think her friend's daughter is a doctor. So invariably, if she also has a son or a daughter who becomes a doctor, she will be okay with it, not knowing that maybe the child's creative potential will not support or allow him to become a doctor or whatever it is. So I think it was on that lines.
But PV, if you say this, some may agree with you, others may not agree with you. But in all this, how do you even have this argument so it does not degenerate into something else? Because you know that when a woman makes up her mind on something, it is quite difficult to change her mind on whatever she's made her mind on. So how do you ensure that in that argument it does not degenerate, into something else that will create a problem for the relationship or the marriage?
You see, women sometimes become glued to what they intend to do or what they even wish. But I see the easiest thing that a man can do is to change the preference of his wife. It's the easiest thing, unless otherwise that particular man doesn't possess that skill. It is always the duty of the man to offer a superior alternative or a better alternative. And that is not far distance from what the woman has initially proposed or has even wished for. But you don't have to throw his suggestions or his wishes overboard, no. But if you realize that what he wants to do is not the best, you always have to find a better alternative that is somehow close to what he wanted to do. Then you can also put across additional benefits other than what he was expecting. Once you do that, you can always win the argument. But they will not allow you throwing whatever it is overboard. Then also, men has to be proactive. Once you get married to the woman, from day one, start soliciting for his views and opinions on other issues. Even if you doesn't even implement it, it will in a way tell her that, oh, my husband always seeks my opinion on some of these important things. So even if she brought something up and you turn it down, you will not be that offended.
If you would always take the person's opinion or view of something and never agree or go along with what suggestion the person gives, at a point in time, the person will be like, oh, baby, some fine,
no, but you see, for having the penchant of asking the wife, what do you think about this? And I think we can do it this way. It doesn't mean you've thrown his suggestions or his opinions away. At least whatever you want to do will have some correlation with what she will propose. Just that it is not entirely what she has proposed. And once he has that knowledge that, oh, my husband will always contact me or always seek my opinion, that one alone will satisfy the woman.
It would be wrong if a man...
You will not be kept in the dark about whatever decision that you intend to take.
So, Mr. Jantuah, how about if a man decides not to argue with the wife at all? Just for peace to prevail, just for me to have my peace of mind, a man says, well, I'm not going to argue with my wife. What is wrong with that?
You see, peace in marriage don't come in isolation or avoiding arguing with your wife. You always have to make sure that whatever decisions, path, whatever it is that the woman wants to do, at the end of the day or at the bottom line, it will not affect the peace of the family. So you need to have that clout to do some of these things, right? And you cannot say you will not argue with your wife. You see, some argument, you can even design a context of argument for yourself and your wife. That nobody will even think this couple are in a form of argument. It will be a form of a conversation.
What would you advise a man to do if, let's say, there's an argument and the argument is getting out of hand? Because you'd agree with me that there are some instances when even a man decides to keep quiet on an issue, the woman will still be ranting and be talking. Even when you want to leave the house, the woman will still find a way to, come at you as to why you're leaving the house. I mean, it would even prevent you from leaving.